Hi everyone, welcome in. 9:30 a.m. Wednesday. I'm Nancy. I'm reading my friend's book, Running for My Life. KURT HURLEY. KURT was a skateboarder and a runner. KURT lives in California right now. Anybody know KURT HURLEY? Running for My Life. KURT's a skateboarder, worked for Billabong, represented Billabong, Pepsi. No, huh? That's okay. KURT was a good friend of mine. We grew up in the same neighborhood. I dated his brother, Brad. See, I'm always just on that cutting edge of people, you know? I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so here I am. I got the book yesterday from Amazon. It's a good book. I'm enjoying it. I'm wearing, listen, it's cold in South Florida. This is my robe. My grandmother used to have this robe. This is not Granny's robe, though. This is my robe that I bought. And it's hot. You know, I mean, inside my home, it's not so cool. So, that keeps slipping. I have a t-shirt and shorts on underneath. Morning, good morning, Gavin. Let them breathe. They breathe plenty, Gavin. Be nice. I have Jack, my moderator, who will block, ban, and report you if you're not good. Hi, Scott Smith. Does anybody know KURT HURLEY? Running for My Life. KURT and I grew up in Bel Air in Pompano Beach, Florida. I dated KURT's brother, Brad. What an interesting book. You know, I can't wait to call KURT today. I messaged him yesterday and with the picture of the book. Can't wait to read it. He says, oh, there's a lot about, thanks, join my fan club. There's a lot about Bradley. Bradley was my boyfriend, his brother. When I opened the book, the dedication, I cried. He dedicated the book to his father. See, I never knew Mr. Hurley. All I knew was Mrs. Hurley and her 4 children that moved into the neighborhood. 2 daughters and 2 sons. This is what they looked like to me. The beauty queen. That was Melanie. The whore. That was Angel. She was a little more advanced than I was. The thief, Brad. And the runner, KURT. KURT HURLEY was a runner. Running for My Life is his first book. The second one mentions Bel Air, where we grew up. I said to him last night, I said, did you mention the skateboard ramp? And he went like this. See, I have all the same memories. Well, not, this is Indiana. I was never from Indiana. KURT HURLEY, Running for My Life. KURT was from Indiana. Brad was from Indiana. I loved the family. I loved Mrs. Hurley and Angel and Melanie. Of course, I loved Brad. It was my boyfriend. And KURT, he was older. KURT's 6 years older than I am. I would love to bring him on here to co-host with me about the book. Maybe the second one, when he does the one on Bel Air, the neighborhood I grew up in, with him. With this cold weather, I get instant straight hair. No curls, no nothing. But that's okay. I enjoy the cold weather. It's pretty good. High bloodline. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Nancy, coming to you from South Florida. Don't ask where I live. I just told you. I'm wearing a robe because it was cold outside, but now it's like getting hot in here. Either that or I'm getting excited talking to you. No, I'm kidding. I'm not. Yesterday in the mail came my friend KURT HURLEY. I grew up with KURT. I dated KURT's brother, Brad. KURT's book, Running for My Life. When I opened it up, the first thing you read is the dedication. KURT dedicated the book. Yeah, is it cold in Fort Myers? Yeah, no. See, I'm farther south. I'm on the east and farther south. So it's, I don't know, maybe 70 here. What's the, good morning, Scott. What's the temp in Fort Myers, Bob? What do you have? What's your temperature, Bob? Hi, DJ. Hey, Mr. DJ, put on, get on. Hi, good morning. I already said good morning to you, Scott. Xylo. Is that right? Xylo? Don't try to fool me with an X. Anyway, what I'm doing is I'm kind of reviewing. I'm on a page 123. 123 in text is I miss you. I don't know if that's significant or that's not. I recently refriended a friend of mine that I grew up with, KURT HURLEY. I dated Kurt's brother, Brad. You could say my name all you want. Scott, Scott, Scott. Just like your mother. Scott, pick up your room. Scott, get off of the phone. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't know what your mother sounds like. I don't care what your mother sounds like. Hi, Nick. 1997. It was a very good year. Listen, I am reviewing Running for My Life. Does anyone here know KURT HURLEY? Skateboarder, Billabong, Pepsi. I don't know who else he had mentioned, other teams that he had represented. Really good read. Very easy read. See, I don't read. I like books with pictures. And it does have a couple of pictures, but Running for My Life. KURT HURLEY. That's Kurt. Cool looking dude. Libra. Grew up in my neighborhood up the street. I dated his brother, Bradley. We're trying to find Brad right now. Brad got hit by a car and was in an elevator accident. I don't know. Cheddar, good to have you, Cheddar. Lloyd, good to have you too. I'm gonna ask Kurt when he does the second book if he will come on as a guest. And you guys will all get to meet KURT HURLEY. I'm re-meeting him. I knew him all my life. Well, I knew him from maybe 12 or 10 until he left Bel Air, and got his own place. And then I would hear wisps. KURT HURLEY. Skateboard, KURT HURLEY. KURT HURLEY. Until really he was well known. Running for My Life, KURT HURLEY. KURT HURLEY. I could have been a Hurley had I played my cards right with his brother. I could still be a Hurley if I really wanted to. All we got to do is find Brad. I'm kidding. I love my ex. Listen, and he stayed friends. Kurt's brother, Brad Hurley, tracked me down. Well, no. After he moved out of Bel Air, I had like a house party in '82. He turned up like a bad penny. Brad Hurley. Didn't live in the neighborhood anymore, but there he was, dressed beautifully. Pants, nice shirt. And then when I lived in Boca, all of a sudden on my door, Brad Hurley. Took me out to dinner, Sea-Watch. I said to him, had you taken me here at 13 years old, I would have dropped dead right here on the floor. But at 40, it really doesn't matter. So now at 61, I contact Kurt. Where's your brother, Brad? Look, I like to keep up with my friends. My friends will be my friends for my entire life. I don't make friends and dissolve them unless it's like I joined a group called Yelp and I made some friends and I have disassociated with the majority of them. They were online, I can't say they weren't friends, kind of like online friends, although I did know them and everything, but they're not like lifelong friends that I've had. Yeah, Nico, don't you? I'm a friend gatherer, and none of my friends are alike. I have different, somebody said, I looked at everybody at your party and not one person was the same kind. It would bore me. Why would I have the same kind of people? That's just me. Friendly Aries. Yeah, I love Aries. Aries, you're the baby of the zodiac. Look, you're looking at your fingers and your toes. You need to be mothered. I had a couple of Aries. and I don't mother anymore. Aries. Aries is a fire sign. Nice. Aries, are you April? Aries? Nico? April? Aries? Yeah, my ex was April 7th. Oh, Virgo. Ooh, you're clean. I can't stand Virgos. They're too clean for me. April Fools. Ooh. Wow. Well, you were no joke. Kidding. I Googled something to eat and it brought me here. Who is that? Josh. That's not Josh Board from California, is it? Yeah, I absolutely, I dated Virgos. Like walking medicine cabinets. I could go over signs with you people if you want. I'm pushing KURT HURLEY's book. KURT, I grew up with KURT. KURT HURLEY, Billabong, skateboards, surf shop, Soul Riders out in Santa Rosa. Well, then you should know KURT HURLEY. KURT, you know KURT. If you're from California, you know KURT. Or, well, maybe not. You might not have been as cool as KURT. KURT was a skateboarder and surfer and runner. KURT, I dated KURT's brother. So when I found KURT had a book, I'm like contacting him. Hey, KURT. And then, here, I've got balls. Oh, look, KURT. Right now I'm talking to the star guy. Look, KURT, I want my book autographed. You know, just telling him. He's going to autograph it. I want the second one autographed. Good morning from New York. Hey, listen, what day did they light the tree? Istanbul. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Ishtakak, whatever. When did they light the tree in New York? What day is that? December. It's December something, right? Or is it Thanksgiving? Did they do it? I don't know. I know you guys have the tree. What is my rising? I don't know. My moon is in Capricorn and my Venus is in, no, my moon is in Capricorn. I don't know. I can't think of it right now. I don't care, Nico. I like Capricorn. Capricorns are risers. You don't know anything about Capricorns. I use is their motto. They use people to rise and advance. How I know that? Yeah, oh, hey, Jody. I don't know about women. I'm going to talk about morning. I'm reading a very good book. Jody, look this up. Get it. It's on Amazon. Running for My Life. KURT HURLEY. KURT and I grew up together. I dated KURT's brother, Brad. One, two U's. I see, I'm basing the Capricorn off of Brian Warner, Marilyn Manson. Brian is a Capricorn. I know Brian because I was his boss in college. Brian was my assistant on the college newspaper. Don't believe it, ask him. Don't believe it, watch VH1 Driven Marilyn Manson Part 2. I'm there. Anyway, Brian is a Capricorn. Brian uses people to climb a crag. The goat is always alone. The goat doesn't travel in a pack. The goat isn't alone. And it climbs the crag of the mountain alone. Rising. That's Brian Warner. Just trampled on everybody to get his way to the top. And that's fine. Hey, listen, if he had to trample on everybody to get to his way to the top, oh, well, he had to trample on everybody. He didn't trample on me. But, well, I wasn't, anyone to give him any, So, I'm reviewing Running for My Life, KURT HURLEY. KURT and I grew up together in the same neighborhood. A neighborhood called Bel Air. Not Los Angeles. Although people, when I used to say, where did you grow up? I say Bel Air. They'd say, oh, California. I wouldn't correct them. I wouldn't say, oh, no, it's Florida. What do I care what you think where I grew up? Who? So anyway, I reunite and I contact Kurt. Hey, how's everything going? I don't know if you'll remember me from the old neighborhood. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. I have a book. Okay, I'll buy the book. Now I open the dedication. He's dedicated the book to his father. See, when the Hurleys moved into my neighborhood, it was the mother, the 2 daughters, and the 2 sons. No father. So reading this, I got to get to know Bucky Hurley. Buck, I think his name. I don't remember if he said what his dad's real name was. I know that he called him Buck. I don't know. I don't really remember. I never met Mr. Hurley, so I can't. I was looking back to where he calls him Buck. He says he was big and they called him Bucky. I don't know. So anyway, KURT Hurley. Kurt has a second book coming out where he mentions our neighborhood and the skateboard ramp and everything that we grew up together. That, I want to have him on as a guest. So I'm going to approach him on that. He deserves to have his own say or to be interviewed. I don't know. Maybe he's not a good interview. I don't know. I know him. So it would be like 2 friends talking, which is exactly the way writers... when I started writing, they said, write about things you know. Well, I know people, so I interview people. And most of the people I know. So it's not so, thank you very much. I used to do radio, broadcasting. So I do have that voice. I have that low voice. I'm not that squeaky, hi, how are you? That little blonde squeaky voice. I'm a deep, dark voice. And it's fine. Hey, listen, I would love to do some voice work for Kurt. I don't know what he has, but, something's going to come out of this. I know it. Either that or I'm going to get a skateboard husband. One of his friends will say, hey, who is that? Kidding. I'm kidding. Way too old to be married. I should have done it in my 20s if I had, but not now. Running for my life, KURT Hurley. Kurt and I grew up together. We grew up in the same neighborhood. I dated his little brother, Brad. I'm going to have Kurt, he has 3 books. This is the first one. I read all the way to page 123. For me to read anything, see, and I told him I only read autobiographies. I am funny, thank you. I only read autobiographies, and all of my autobiographies are autographed by the authors. So I said to Kurt, like I'm trying, hey, Kurt, I need you to autograph the book. But that's how I am. I'll tell you what I want. I don't go, oh, well, could you... I told him, hey, Kurt, I need you to autograph. Well, I want the second one autographed. Although I would like all 3 autographed. See, I said to him, Kurt, I'm going to read the book, then I'm going to send it to you. I want you to autograph it and send it back to me. He agreed. Of course. It's my friend. But the second one mentions Bel Air, where we grew up. So maybe that one more... You guys all have tuned in when I did the 30 Days of Rocktober. Keep in mind, December 12th through the 24th, I'll be playing the 12 Days of Christmas. All Christmas music, all for the hour. Are you in Kansas? No, I'm not. Why would you think I was in Kansas? Yeah, I'm in Kansas. What's the capital of Kansas? I don't know. Kansas City? Is that right? I don't know. I've never been to Kansas, sorry. But I've been to Oklahoma. No, I haven't. I've never been to Oklahoma. You know that one song? I've been to Oklahoma. The lady who was my oral surgeon, she was like, do you like... who is that? 3 Dogs. I go, yeah. Because I'm thinking like Shambhala. No, she plays that, have you been to Oak? And she's singing as she's, oh my God. Well, that was the ending of me liking Three Dog Light. Listen, I'm reviewing Running for My Life. KURT Hurley. KURT and I grew up in the same neighborhood. I dated KURT's brother, Brad. This is KURT. He's a really cool looking dude. KURT was sponsored by Billabong, by Pepsi, by a bunch of different corporates when he skateboarded. KURT's a professional skateboarder, lives in California, had Soul Riders Surf Shop, has a band called The Mystery Machine. December 2nd, they're going to be playing out. I think it's Santa Clarita. I'll push that when it comes closer to their date. But this is KURT's book, Running for My Life. What I'm going to say to him today, the first thing I'm going to say is, do you want to know when I cried during the book? The dedication, the acknowledgement, the mentioning of his mother, the mentioning of the father. I don't know. You know, I can relate to this whole book. I know this person. So anyway, hi Chris, welcome in. Glad to have you. I'm reviewing Running for My Life, California. I was going to say California native. No, he is not. He's Indiana, or maybe he was born in Tampa. I don't know where KURT. I'd have to read that again. See that? I tear up. You know, just the dedication. This book is dedicated to my father, who taught me how to have faith in myself. I never knew Mr. Hurley. So to read that, you know, it's touching. I love KURT. KURT's a great person. This is his book, Running for My Life. KURT became a runner. You know, because kids used to chase him or something like that. That's how he became a runner, running to get his father cigarettes at 11 o'clock at night. See, I didn't know Buck Hurley. He was a football player or something like that. Maybe you boys know who Buck Hurley is. I don't. I'm not a footballer. KURT, who's a runner, talks about Prefontaine. The runner, Prefontaine. I'm not a runner, so I didn't know Prefontaine. But interesting. I never knew the father got remarried to a woman named Karen. You know, it's a very interesting, and the chapters are very short. Maybe 2 or 3 paragraphs. Perfect! I can't absorb too much. It gets in there and it's lost. So for me, this is a great read. It's a few paragraphs per chapter. It's about someone that I know. So again, I'm interested. See, I can only read autobiographies. I just cannot read technical writing. I can't read like newspaper stuff unless it's on somebody I know. I'm just not a reader. I'm a writer that does not read. I'm a published entertainment journalist. Yep, I was associate editor of a magazine. I just don't read. I don't like to read. It doesn't hold my attention. Now a book on my friend KURT Hurley, Running for My Life, that holds my attention because I know KURT. You know, I grew up with KURT. So to know him and grow up with him, you know, is and like I say, I'm going to say to him today, do you want to know which parts I cried? I had to put it down last night. I read up to, I don't know, 97 or whatever. Now I'm up to 123. Like I say, a very easy read. It's interesting if you are a skateboard or a surf or a runner. You may know KURT Hurley. When KURT has his second book, I can't remember what it's called, and it's coming out. It has not been published yet. This is the first one, Running for Your Life, Running for My Life. KURT Hurley. I dated KURT's brother, Brad. And I loved Brad. Brad was a good kid. Well, Brad was a thief. I'm sorry, Brad. And I hope he's changed his ways. I said to Kurt, I can't have somebody negative around me, Kurt. I'm way farther advanced, and he said, no, Bradley has changed. So I look forward again for the 4th time to reacquaint with Brad. Have you read anything from who? No, I'm not a reader. I couldn't even read that. No, I don't read. I don't like fiction. I like autobiographies, and all of my autobiographies are signed by the authors. I have Carmine Appice, the drummer from Vanilla Fudge, John Densmore, the drummer of The Doors, all signed autobiography. When I get an autobiography, it's signed by the author. That's just me. I'm kind of, hey, South Philly, how's everything? Are you here, or are you just stopping through? Hi, Tammy. Is that Tammy? No, that's Tahana. I don't know what that says. Pretty flower, though. My latest read, and I do not read, so this is big for me. Running for My Life, KURT HURLEY. I dated Kurt's brother, Brad, growing up. Brad Hurley was the first boy I ever kissed. So anyway, hi Jason, hi Axel Fieri. I'm reviewing Kurt's book, Running for My Life. When I talk to Kurt today, I'm going to tell him, the first thing I'm going to say is, do you want to know the parts I cried? It's such a moving, I'm fantastic. How are you doing, Jace? You doing good? I hope you are. It's Wednesday. Did you survive Taco Tuesday? What did I eat yesterday? I know when I was reading this, I got a banana split. Like I need a banana. Look, it just adds to that double chin. Fantastic. Good to hear from you. What are you doing today? Anything exciting? You're at work? You guys had yesterday off. It was Veterans Day. It's cold in South Florida, so my hair is flat and straight. It's never been combed. This is how I slept. I had somebody say, do you sleep? See, this is how I hear their voice. Do you sleep in curlers? No, I do not sleep in curlers. I have naturally curly hair. I cut it myself. I style it myself. Listen, I talked to a hairdresser friend of mine last night, Michael, and he said, yeah, your hair looks great. I said, yeah, I cut it myself. I feel good. Listen, I'm wearing it's not though. My grandmother had one. When I put it on, I went, oh, Gran. I love this. This is that old Vanity Fair. Remember the old nightgown? Remember this? Your grandmother had it. I love it. It has sleeves. But see, I'm vintage. So anything really vintage. Oh my God, I love this. So anyway, I have a t-shirt and shorts on because I slept in a t-shirt and shorts. I can't sleep where it's real hot. I have to be like cool when I sleep. You are going to work. Hey, I feel good. You know what? It doesn't matter how I look. It's how you feel inside. The look can change. I can go outside and something could hit me in the face and destroy this look. This is not who I am. Inside is who I am. You've got to remember that, people. Sure, it's nice to be pretty. Not everybody is born pretty. Listen, I'm still fat. Listen, at 61, I'm allowed to be whatever weight I want to be. As a child growing up, I was a fat little girl. And when I got skinny and I went to my cousin's wedding, all the boys who were mean to me, because I was a fat little girl, they all tried to come on to me, and I said to them, I remember how you made me feel. I remember what you said. Goodbye. And the one kid who was really nice to me, that's who I hung around with. See, whoever accepted me fat as a kid, you know, I make exceptions for. Have a great day, Jason. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't work too hard. Hi, Jay. Listen, I'm reviewing Running for My Life, KURT HURLEY. KURT grew up in Indiana. Hoosiers, right? Indiana, is that right? Hoosiers. KURT eventually in the 70s, not the 80s, in the 70s moved to my neighborhood, and KURT and I were neighbors. I dated KURT's brother, Brad. So if anybody grew up with me, they knew I liked Brad Hurley. And Brad's brother, KURT, that's KURT. Really cool dude. Really great person. Really good heart. From what I'm reading in this book, I've earned a new respect. Not that I never I've always respected KURT HURLEY. Growing up, I heard that he had become famous, you know, and Pepsi, he represented Pepsi and Billabong and, you know, Billabong, the surf shop. KURT HURLEY, Running for My Life. KURT became a runner. Apparently because some kid chased him and he started running. I don't know, something like that. That's what I gathered from the book. I'm on page 123. It ends at page 162. So I only have 40 more pages. And I started last night. It's amazing for me. I hate to read. I will not read. I don't like reading. Reading is not something that entertains me. It doesn't. I'm getting too hot. I guess it's getting too hot in South Florida. So anyway, here I am. I have black. I'm all black. Black shorts, black top. Welcome in, Jay. Good to have you. KURT HURLEY, Running for My Life. I dated KURT's brother, Bradley. KURT has had two sisters and a brother. KURT's down to his brother. The two sisters, Melanie and Angel, and Angel have passed. I loved Melanie. Listen, she was the beauty queen. She was gorgeous, Melanie. And nice to me. And I remember she had a yellow butter colored bikini. That's what I remember. And the Farrah Fawcett with the frosted. Beautiful girl. Then there was Angel. Angel was the little Spitfire. Angel was the blonde with the blue eyes. Everybody loved Angel. Yeah, hi, Mischief. Hi, Mischief. And Brad was my southern sweetheart. He toted this little southern accent. I guess Indiana has a southern accent. I don't know. I think he told me he was from Alabama, which I have to ask KURT. You know, where does this kid come up with these crazy... But, you know, I guess they had to entertain themselves back then, or whatever it was, you know, or make up stories, or I don't know. Dr. J, I've got a pain. No, I'm kidding. I don't have a pain. I do, though. And somebody I talked to said, I had that pain. It's just gas. I just cracked my back a little. I think it has something to do with my couch and my bed. Two things that I need replaced. The couch is 25 years old. I love my couch, though. The couch has seen a lot. And my bed, I have two beds in my bedroom. I have a queen and a full. The full came when I had to get the hospital bed in my spare room for my parents. My mother, not my father. My father slept on a queen size bed in there. So, KURT HURLEY. I'm reviewing the book Running for My Life, KURT HURLEY. This is Kurt. I am going to ask Kurt when the second book comes out if he will guest co-host. We'll have to set up an account for him, maybe. I don't think he has an Instagram. His musical group is Mystery Machine. They're going to be playing December 2nd, I think Santa Clarita. I'll have to get the date for you on that. I'm on page 123. I started last night. Running for My Life, KURT HURLEY. What I'm going to say to Kurt today when I speak to him, because I will complete the 40 pages in about an hour. First thing I'm going to say is, do you want to know what parts I cried? When I read the dedication, see, I didn't know Mr. Hurley, the father. I knew the mother and the 4 children. This is KURT Hurley, Running for My Life. I grew up with Kurt. I dated Kurt's brother, Brad. Very good read. A very easy read. It's not a difficult read. The chapters are maybe 2 or 3 paragraphs, and that's fine for me. I can't absorb any more than that. DJ Annex, welcome in. Catch me in December 12th through the 24th. I'll be playing vinyl Christmas albums. The 12 Days of Christmas, I'm calling it. So anyway, listen, I want to thank you all for coming in. I'm reviewing, and I'm going to get back to reading it. Running for My Life, KURT Hurley. Look up Kurt. Kurt's in California. You could just do a search, KURT Hurley. You'll come up with who this is. This is my friend. I dated his brother. I'm now reading his book. And Kurt and I are still friends. You know, I reacquainted with Kurt. Listen, have a fantastic Wednesday, hump day. I don't know what that means. Anyway, have a great one. Be good to those who are... Thanks again for stopping by. Be good to those who are good to you. Sorry, Mrs. Squeaky, I'm cutting off now. Be good to those who are good to you. The rest are watching TV.